My passion has always been education, children, and literature, because the priceless gift that my parents gave me was a love of books from the earliest stage. Oh, it's been a huge journey. I feel so lucky to have arrived in Dubai in 1968 and to have seen the wealth of opportunities that Dubai and the UAE offer all of us. And nothing was missing from the life that I'd left Cambridge in the United Kingdom, except books and availability of books. I was teaching at Dubai Infant School in those days, and children and their engagement with books are something I feel very passionately about, and want to ensure that children have the opportunity that I had as a child to fall in love with books and reading. So if you have not got access to books, if there are not children's books available, then it becomes harder. So the sort of Magrudy's grew out of this ambition to offer families living in Dubai and the wider region the opportunity to find good children's books. And we focused on children's books in the beginning and good quality toys. That's when Magrudy's first started in 1975. So it's going to be 50 years old next year. And I'm incredibly proud of it. And I've always referred to Magrudy's as my sixth. I've got 5 children. Magrudy's was my 6th problem child. There were always problems, there were always challenges, but that's part of learning. So I had no experience of business or retail, but I knew as a customer what I wanted. And so I've always been, I think, focused on the customer. What do they want to find? What do they expect? How do they feel when they visit a Magrudy's? So those were the early things. And then as time went on, we established a small children's publishing company called Jerboa Books, and the Jerboa is a small mouse that lives in the desert, with the idea of trying to produce books that would provide both a mirror and a window. So the mirror is where children from the region who are living here and who are from here can see themselves, where they can identify. They don't feel like they're an alien from Mars when they read a book that has been produced in the West. But also the window is the window on the world. So they want to learn about the world around them. So there's always got to be a balance. And that was the idea. I could not find these books. So in the way that with Magrudy's, I thought, let's do it. And then I realized how complicated and technical publishing is, but you have to start somewhere. And out of that grew the understanding of, wouldn't it be wonderful to celebrate literature in all its forms, in both Arabic and English? And so the Literary Festival was born. It's got off the ground in 2008. We had our first festival in 2009, and we'll be celebrating 17 years of literary excellence and celebration next February. So it was very helpful that I'd had that life with Magrudy's, getting to know international publishers from around the world, looking at what were the best-selling books, investing very early in software that could capture data. So we were the first users of software in bookshops within the Gulf region, and also Nielsen book data. So we could capture books that were popular, but also we knew where, if a customer came in and said, I want a book on this, we could advise them, because we had this huge database of more than 6 million books published in English around the world. It still doesn't exist in Arabic, but it, I'm sure, will come. So this was the journey from Magrudy's earliest days to the Literary Festival, and then to the foundations. So His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum established the Emirates Literature Foundation in 2013, and that gave us a solid foundation on what we could do additionally to just the annual flagship festival. So we have a huge education department, and we have year-round initiatives that engage with young people, be they at university, be they at primary or secondary school, or even homeschooled, to keep the love of reading alive throughout the year. We also launched a year ago the Reading for Pleasure initiative in 6 pilot schools. So we're looking at independent scientific research with 4 universities to see the interventions we make in these 6 schools. What are the changes? What impact is this having on the triangle of students, teachers and parents? Has it changed their academic success? Has it changed their mental well-being? What difference has it made? Let's talk about storytelling. So storytelling is embedded in the region as a very strong way. It's how histories were told. It was how legends became real in people's minds. And so I think we need to understand that culture has so many different ways of being celebrated and recognized. And I think there is, unfortunately, an assumption in the West that there is only one way. This couldn't be further from the truth. So we have incredible culture and art that has been going on here for a very long time. All the woven fabrics, all the types of embroidery, the jewelry, the storytelling, the poetry, the Nabatea poetry in particular, that have a long tradition here. And we celebrate those. And we just need to understand that, as with clothes, it is not one size fits all. We need to dig deep into Emirati arts and culture, which are there and they are alive and thriving. Education for anyone begins the moment they are born. So if a child is born into a house where the parents value culture in terms of reading, in terms of art, in terms of understanding of the world around them, taking their children to visit libraries and museums, that child will have a head start over understanding the world they live in and the wider world. And particularly with reading, if a parents, grandparents, family relatives read to the child from its earliest days, that child has a lifelong advantage. They have an opportunity to fall in love with books and reading long before they go to school. They know about stories, they know about dinosaurs, sea creatures, all from the books that they have had shared with their parents at home. So this gives them additional vocabulary, additional ideas, confidence, being able to, when you sit with a child, you put your arms around a child and you share a book with them. They will point to things, they will point to illustrations that you as an adult will have missed, and they will start to babble before language develops. They will pick up words. Learning to read is not exciting. You have to learn it. Our brains are not made to read. They're made for so many different things, but not reading. So from our visual path to the comprehension part of our brain, we have to build neural pathways to learn how to read, be it in Arabic or English or other languages. So again, if that child has had an understanding that books are about stories and enjoyable, they'll get over that hump of learning to read, and then they will start to devour books on their own. It's really important that the Emirates Literature Foundation is encouraging and expanding the amount of titles and books and exposure that Emirati writers and those that live in the region get. And obviously, it's really important that we balance between Arabic language and English language in all that we do. And we are seeing year on year a wonderful growth of the literary community. And we have this amazing fellowship supported by the Siddiqui Group, so the Siddiqui Writers Fellowship, which every year, and it's now in its third year, 10 potential writers are selected from all that apply for this wonderful fellowship in Arabic and in English, who are resident or from the United Arab Emirates. So they've got to be living here. And then they have a whole journey to getting their book published. It's focused on fiction at the moment. And we've had, in the first 3 years, incredible results with this. So this is a way we're starting to grow the literary community. And there are many other initiatives across the UAE where everyone is pushing for more recognition of books in Arabic. Pearls of wisdom and the oyster. You know, the world, you can see it in so many different ways. For me, my passion has always been education, children, and literature, because the priceless gift that my parents gave me was a love of books from the earliest stage. So by the age of 3, I could read because I had such wonderful exposure from my parents to books every single day. Life begins at home, and that is where the parents' role in the futures of their children is so important for arts and culture broadly.